Your energy costs are increasing. But is it because of price rises, or are you wasting energy? Auditing your energy use can answer this question and starts with making simple lists.
Once we've got a list together, and we just made a basic list and said how many machines, where we're using it, what air conditionings we have, where we're actually going to use it, how many hours are they working, how many computers we have, what are we actually doing with them.
We've been doing internal audits for about 10 years, and most of the time they're very informal. That came out of our 14001 Environmental Management System program, where we started looking at our aspects and impacts. We looked at lights and air conditioning and the sorts of things that came top of mind. And then as we moved more into it, we started looking at our machinery and how we were using that machinery.
Once you had the list of all the items that use energy, there are two main ways you can work out how much energy is used.
One way of doing it is a mathematical way. So you go, okay, this piece of equipment is rated at this many kilowatt hours, we use it this many hours a day for this many days a year.
The other way to look at it is to do data logging. So that's where you actually put a current transformer onto a circuit or a switchboard, and you leave it there for a week or 2 weeks or a month, and you get a very clear picture of what energy is being used.
Bringing in external auditors can help collect and interpret the data to identify waste.
Typically I'll do an assessment of the lux levels of the lights to get an idea about whether they're meeting a standard, whether they can be improved or not. I'll also look at things like escaping air, so particularly things like data centres and server rooms. We'll sometimes get in thermal imaging to look at those where heat's being lost. The Australian standards ASNZ 3598-2000 is the standard for energy audits, and that specifies 3 different levels of audit that you can perform. The first one is quite high level and doesn't go into a lot of detail, and the output basically can be plus or minus 40% of the savings identified. The level 2 energy audit goes into a fair bit more detail and should come up with costs and savings to plus or minus 20%. The level 3 energy audit goes even further still and actually monitors what the impact is of those projects after they've been implemented. That will give you costs and savings to plus and minus 10%.
Of course, you can do an audit yourself without following these standards, but external auditors bring expertise that can often lead to big energy savings. Marquee Bathroom Products found having this expertise resulted in a reduction in the amount of gas required for their burners.
Someone explaining to us the most efficient way to use it and the best way to make use of that resource was just sort of a revelation. The burner was actually operating at about 25% efficiency. So literally 75% of the gas we pumped into it just went away. We now use about 9,000 litres a year. We used to use the better part of 17.
Some government programs can help businesses improve their energy efficiency. Typically, they provide partial funding for an energy audit or a technology upgrade or innovation. Either way, the audit process results in real data that can lead to real energy savings.
Real data is extremely valuable. It enables you to make an informed decision. Quite often if you're going on an assumption or on a basic logic, you can only or come up with a rough model on what you think might happen. At least when you're dealing with firm data, you're more or less assured that there's going to be a benefit.
Many of the skills applied in these examples are reflected in the energy efficiency skill sets in the MSS 11 Sustainability Training Package. For more information and additional resources, visit sustainabilityskills.net.au.